Hey everybody, this is Jose here. We're about to start in like 30 seconds. This is time for sound check. Please go ahead and type a quick message on the chat box so I know that you hear me. Just a quick hello would do. A little sound check as we start the session so we can start on time, knowing that technology is all good for the session to begin. So, quick hello. Very good. Thank you so much. Diane, very good. Thank you so much. 3 seconds to go. Here we go. We just reached the top of the hour. Welcome to the session, my friends. We are now live. Hello, how are you? Good to see you, everybody. Welcome to the session. Today is May 26, 2020. Today we're getting together to do a little bit of intraday trading. It's a short-term day, so we're going to be looking at the markets from that perspective. We're going to be looking at futures and forex and looking for those market opportunities and ready to execute as long as they meet our rules. Before we start, I always have a disclaimer to read for you guys, so I will do this and then we begin. Disclaimers. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive by using our products. And that's the introduction. The session is now officially introduced, so we are ready to begin with the application of trading here, looking at market opportunities, looking at the setups, planning the trades, and executing as long as all is good. So checking the chat box very quick to see your questions. Diane, how are you? Furman, good to see you. Johan, good to see you as well. Charles, how are you? Gali, good to see you as well. Hello, everyone. Very nice to see you in the session today. And again, as I said, let's begin. Okay. By the way, before I start with the charts, I want to give you a quick reminder. This is going to happen just in a few hours from now. Today, 26th of May, it's a pretty special day because we have many things going on. Okay, we are doing the short-term session right now as we speak. Okay, and later we have another session which is called Do's and Don'ts in Trading. Later is going to be, as you can see, 7 p.m. New York time. Okay. 7 p.m. New York time, and that one will not take place in the YouTube channel. I said that before. If you have seen that before, just bear with me 1 second for the ones of you that you haven't. So when you click on that link, you have a special link here with youcantrade.com where you need to register so you get an email with your access to the session. Okay, that session will not be done on the YouTube channel, even though it's access for everybody. It's a free access for everyone. So you guys can join me if you have the time. And if you don't have the time, still register because then you will get the recording links so you can watch it at your own pace. Okay. Froilan, how are you? Good to see you. Very good. So guys, let's begin. We've looked at the introduction slide. We looked at the schedule, and therefore it's time to begin. So I have the radar screens here, okay? And we have, as we speak, we have an alert on the S&P futures, okay? The S&P futures is giving us a near sensible long opportunities. So without further ado, let's load the S&P workspace so we can look into this trade and if all the rules are met, ready to execute. Okay, so teamwork starting from now on, guys. Let's interact using the chat box. If you have any question, make sure you type it. If you have any comment concerning the trades, make sure you communicate with me. I may have questions for you, so be ready to answer as well. So what do we have? Okay, well, let's begin with the climate. So from a climate point of view, okay, the S&P futures in the 15-minute time frame is giving us a thick and blue dot. So it's an up climate candle number 1 out of 8. Okay, so 8 is a 2-hour trade. So this is the beginning part of what could be potentially a 2-hour long trade. That's nice, okay? But that would only be nice if the other rules are met. So we are looking for entries around 3010. Okay, so 3010. Do we have any UFO around 3010 or slightly below? So that UFO here is located at 3009.75. My friends, that's good enough. So we're gonna go for it. This is our UFO for entry. We also have this one 11, okay, but that one is much higher, okay. So the bottom part is 0975, which lines up with this one. So again, this one is going to be our UFO, and the bottom part is 725, with 725 has to be right above 750. Okay, so in other words, this is our UFO with an entry at 0975, and the stop is going to be 3700, because we're going to go one tick below 0.25. Okay, so I'm just going to place this order in a minute. I just need to find a target first. So I'm going to have to move into the 15-minute time frame, enable auto UFO, and price is inside of a UFO, which means that we ignore that UFO and we need to go for the next UFO when looking for the target. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to load some more data here. So I want to disable auto climate, and I'm going to load data, let's say beginning of March 2020. Okay, so start, oh sorry, that was latest date. Silly of me, I'm typing it in the wrong place. First date, that's what I meant. So we're gonna go for March 1st 2020 and see if loading all that data we do end up finding a UFO above. So we got PD, pending data on the upper left. Okay, I want to move to daily as well, just to save a little bit of time. So we are looking to places around here. So again, this is beginning of March. Okay, so hopefully we're gonna be able to see those UFOs using March 1st. Okay, so going back to first date, March 1st, let's see if we got UFOs above. And yes, we have UFOs above. And the price for our target, as you can see, I'm just going to make a note for myself. So for the ES is going to be 3024.75. So we are talking about like a 15-point type of trade. That's nice. Certainly good. So let me go back to my normal setup. Oh, price is already in the entry. I've been too slow there. I have been too slow. But we may have an opportunity because another UFO just formed. Okay, so let me go back to here so you see it well. So we have another UFO here that just formed. That one is located at the top, is 3010.50. Okay, I'm gonna go with a 0.25 just to minimize the risk of the trade a little bit. Okay, yeah, so let's go for it. So using two contracts for this trade, entry it's 1025 with the stop being 07 right there. Okay, so this is creating a safety target, if I'm not mistaken, to be right here at 1375. And our final target we said was going to be located at 2475. So I'm just going to drag it. 2475, here we go. So let me explain the trade on the screen. Okay, let me explain the trade on the screen. So we have two UFOs overlapping each other, which also overlap with that one. All of these qualifies as a valid entry. 3010.25 is our entry. The stop is 3700. That's our stop. Equal distance above would be 3013.75. This is our safety target, where our final target is 3024.75, all the way above, which is the red UFO we found on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so the S&P is coming down a little bit. We are just like 1 point away from the entry. So hopefully it will come down 5 ticks away from the entry. Hopefully it will come down and we get a feel. Okay, so comments there on the chat box. Is everybody with me on the plan? Please give me a yes or a no, or a good, or any positive or negative word if you need me to repeat something, because I am waiting for price to come to my entry, which may or may not happen. That depends on the market. We have no control over that, but we are ready to execute. If it drops to 3010.25, the order is in. Okay, so we are waiting for this to happen. I notice I always find the target out of flow chart order. Yes, Fremont, that's the rule. We set the targets using the common time frame, and we set the entries using the edge time frames. Okay, so this is the rule. Very good. Leland, order place, waiting, very good. So we're about to get filled there. We're one tick away. Let's see if the market is not so much of a teaser, and we do get a fill. We're two ticks away now. Come on, S&P, come meet us. We're waiting for you. We just got filled, so we are in a trade. And now this is when now we just need to let the market forces to do their job. Okay, we have the climate in our favor. We have the UFOs in our favor. The EMA likely going to bring additional on-field orders where on-field orders should be found. All of this is adding odds. Having said all of that, I do need to say something which is not a very, very good news, which is a red UFO just formed around our entry. You can see there at 3011. This obviously reduces the odds of the trade, but again, we are in an up climate, and this will we still have 5 minutes to wait to see if the climate is gonna reverse or not. The aggressivity on the move is certainly creating a little bit of concern when it comes to the health of this trade. But again, a mechanical approach to trading is more important than the concerns that may show up on our mindset, given the fact that we are human and therefore emotional beings. So 5 minutes from now, it's going to be 11:15 in New York. 5 minutes from now, we're going to have evidence of if this climate maintains or had reversed, and then we're going to have to act on that. As of now, there is nothing to be done, just to wait. We know that unfortunately the on-field orders in here are gone, so that's a bad news. Red on-field orders, red UFOs showed up, that's a bad news, but we still have green on-field orders on the left, and also the EMA that may add on-field orders, plus the climate, will be defined in 4 minutes from now. So we are in waiting time. As of now, everything is looking normal, even though the move that took place to the downside was quite aggressive, and obviously that's never a good news. Okay, but we can see now a little bit of green showing up on the reactive time frame. So the market, at least some market participants, at least some of those computers are injecting orders based on the climate and the EMA, and we can see that entering the market. So that's good. But again, all of this is for me to share my thoughts, even though none of it is going to change any of the actions I'm going to take. The actions I'm going to take are exclusively based on the rules. And talking about the rules, while we are waiting for 11:15 a.m. New York time, we need to look at the time stop rule, isn't it? So we got filled on this candle. Okay, that was 10:10. Okay, you can see the time here. So 10:10, and this is a 2-minute time frame. So we have a 3-candle time stop rule, isn't it? Meaning that if 3 candles later, in other words, 6 minutes later, that's going to be 10:16. If at 10:16 we haven't reached our safety target, we need to be out. Okay? If at 10:16 we haven't reached our safety target, we need to be out. So we have 2 things to watch for now, which is a potential change of climate if this was to happen in 2 minutes from now, okay, because it's now 11:13 a.m. in New York. So 2 minutes from now, we will know more about the climate. But no matter what the climate is, okay, I mean, if the climate changes from blue to red, we have to close the trade immediately. But no matter what the climate is, even if the climate remains as blue, if we haven't reached the safety target, okay, at 13, which is 2 points higher, if we haven't reached the safety target in before 11:16, then we have to close the trade for either a small profit or a small loss, or whatever the outcome is. We have to close the trade based on the time stop rule. Okay, so we are looking at the clock. Okay, we are looking at the clock. 11:15, 11:16 is what we keep in our mind. We are ready to act. In the meantime, what could happen is that in here or in here, we may have a green UFO to form. And if this was to happen, we also need to trail the stop and move it up. But for that, a UFO has to form. This hasn't happened yet. Okay, so we are just waiting either for a UFO to form, either for 11:15 and confirmation of the climate, either for 11:16, which is the time stop rule, which is we have either reached the safety target, or if not, we're going to have to close the trade for whatever P&L available at that time. Good news, the red UFOs are gone, meaning those red sell on field orders have been filled. This opens up room for the price to move, but at the same time, we got until 11:16 for this to happen. If it doesn't happen until before 11:16, we're gonna have to be mechanical, no hope, no human emotions, only mechanical approach to trading. We're gonna have to act on it, get out, and be proud of being professional on the action instead of being hopeful, even if the market then was to move in our favor. In the long haul, being emotional would be problematic. So let's see now in 10 seconds what the climate is going to be. So watch down here because we're about to have a second either blue or red dot. Let's see what's going to be. So the dot is blue. So the climate is confirmed. So we don't need to close the trade based on the climate. But now we got 50 seconds to go. Okay. We haven't reached the safety target yet. So we got 50 seconds to reach the safety target. If we don't reach the safety target in less than 45 seconds, we will close the trade manually, okay, by clicking the close button. There's a lot of hesitation, as you can see, and this is problematic and it adds danger to the trade, okay? So if the setup is good, so everything should play and you should be you should be moving in the right direction efficiently. And if we are not reaching safety target, it means that we are not being efficient enough. So you better close the trade because it may be that the climate is about to reverse. Okay, so we got 6 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna close the trade here. So this trade made $100. We are out of the trade. We didn't reach the safety target. So not an amazing trade, but we protected our risk. We protected the trade. The plan didn't basically develop as expected based on the climate and the on-field orders and the EMA. So we're out with the time stop rule, ready to replan a trade. Okay, so if a new trade is ready to be executed, we'll be ready to do so. Okay, and by the way, a new trade is ready to be executed. Notice how there is a new UFO that just formed here. Okay, price is inside. Okay, so 3010.75. That would be the entry. Stop 0975. So we are re-entering this trade, my friends. I'm gonna get filled immediately because price is inside the UFO already. So I'm gonna buy 2 contracts at 75. Stop needs. Oh, the UFO went out, guys. Close the trade. Close the trade. The UFO just disappeared. I just had to close the trade, guys. Okay, so I kind of made $100 in one trade. I lost $100 in one trade. Not a big deal. This is trading, my friends. I'm mechanical. The UFO disappeared from the screen, so I am out. That's it. Okay, because I didn't complete putting all the parameters of the trade. I didn't calculate my safety target, my stop. So I'm out. Okay, that's it. Anyway, so let's go back to the climate screen and see what we have. Well, on the future side, we got nothing else. Okay, nothing else flashing. The only one is the S&P. Okay, so we will keep this workspace open and we'll keep watching to see if a UFO forms, because again, if a UFO forms around 3010, just like we had earlier, we are in a climate 2 dots out of 7. Okay, so certainly this would be a valid trade, but we do need a UFO. That's what we're missing now. Okay, so let's go back to begin looking at the Forex markets. And if you don't mind, I need to take a quick sip of water. Sorry for that. Thank you very much. Very good. Okay, I see no more comments on the chat box. Okay, so I believe that you guys are following. I always love a little bit of feedback, guys. Okay, so you guys let me know from time to time if everything is going okay or not. Again, quick look at the S&P. Any UFO forming? Not yet. We'll come back to USMP. In the meantime, looking at Forex, and oh my God, this is really not a common situation. I mean, it happens from time to time, but really, it's kind of rare. Look at that. With the majors, I'm looking at 60-minute climates and 4-hour climates and daily climates. I only got one golden alert and is hopeful, so it's to be ignored. That is not really common. Okay, so many currencies and so many timeframes and only one alert. Oh, look at that. The yen is just flashing. Okay, so we'll come back to the yen. Actually, let's go take a look at the yen right now. So yen, USD, JPY. So we're looking at the yen in a 4-hour time frame. Okay, in a 4-hour time frame, as you can see here, the yen in a 4 hour time frame, the yen is providing us with a confirmed down climate, 1 out of 5. Okay, so the yen may reach the EMA like it's doing right now and may fall for another 4 candles. Okay, so that's a 16-hour trade. Okay, so almost 1 day trade. So that could be a nice one. The reference point, which is the black line, which is the EMA, is 66, 107.66. So when looking at 60, when thinking 66, I'm going to turn on auto UFOs on the 21-minute time frame, and I got UFOs at 72. At the current price, which is 66, I don't have UFOs. So I'm going to give this market another chance by looking at the 21 range time frame instead of 21-minute. And when I do that, do we have UFOs where they are located at 69, which is above 66? Okay, so we don't have a UFO at the current price, and unfortunately, this trade doesn't meet our setup. Now, again, you may come back 1 hour from now and you may have a UFO at 66. Okay, so that is a currency for you to watch and maybe a valid setup later on, but not now because of what I said. Okay, so back to the S&P. Do we have a green UFO? Not yet. Not yet. The red UFO that was here is gone. So that's good. Opening up the path for the climate to continue propagating, which is the normal thing. At the same time, we don't have a green UFO, so we're not going to guess it. Okay, we're just going to be mechanical, as I always say, as I keep saying, as I will always say. And in the meantime, so I'm going to go take a look at the other currency pairs I got here, which are the minors. And I got the same problem I got with the majors earlier. This is quite weird, to be honest. It's not a common situation. I got plenty of currencies there. Okay, many of them. They are minors. Okay, the pound, CAD, the Aussie, Kiwi, so many currencies. And notice that with the 4 hour time frame, there is no alert. Where below, with the daily time frames, I only have one alert, which is near sensible, because the other one is hopeful. So we pass on that one. But unfortunately, the one that is sensible has a gray box, which is telling me that the climate is not confirmed. So even though the Aussie Kiwi is almost an opportunity, it is not confirmed because of the gray box, and therefore I have to pass. So what's my only choice? Well, my only choice is to wait for setups to develop on whatever market I have on my watch list. I'm not going to make up a trade, even though it's unfortunate that this is happening live in the session, because when I join you here on the YouTube channel, guys, my intention is to hopefully execute as many trades as possible. But I said hopefully because I have no control over it. I depend on what the market provides. So hopefully the market will provide many opportunities, so we can do a lot of practice, and I can help you to practice and in that sense develop your skill. But of course, I don't have control over what's about when it comes to what's available. So let's go back to the S&P. Hopefully a green UFO will form, and if a green UFO forms, then we'll be all over the trade immediately like we did before. And if the climate propagates, it's going to be a winner. In the meantime, we need to use our patience and sit on our hands, which is probably the most difficult part of trading, but it is trading. Okay, not trading is trading. If your rules are not met, you don't trade. That's the professional approach to trading, which is unfortunate when it happens while we are getting together to practice, but it's what it is. Okay, so how is it going out there, guys? Any comment, any question, anything you guys would like to share, any thoughts? Okay, while we wait, normally I like to kind of rush during the trading days to, normally I postpone questions to sharpening sessions because during the sharpening days over the weekend, that's when normally we take our time for questions. During the trading days, normally I like to use my time wisely, and I like to be, let's call it fast, when it comes to putting trades in place for you guys to practice. But really right now, I don't mind if you have any question to spend a little bit of time to answer your questions, given the fact that none of those setups is meeting my rules at the moment. And therefore, I don't have anything to do at the moment. Okay. I may go take a look at the Euro futures. Okay. Just to start planning on something. Okay. Because the Euro futures, if you look at it, the Euro futures is 0.6. when it comes to the ATR spread. The alert will show up when it's zero point 0.5. That's my setting. Okay, so if I look at studies, edit auto climate, I got my alert set at zero point 0.5. So when the euro futures gets to zero point 0.5, it's gonna give me an alert. Oh, wait a minute, that one is hopeful, so I'm not gonna do it. Okay, and crude oil is the same, is also hopeful, so I'm not gonna do it. And sensible long is 1.2 and sensible long is 1.04, so that's very far away. So I'm not gonna do it. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. So we are just waiting, guys. We're just waiting, and we just got an update on the climate. Notice how the S&P climate went from confirmed to unconfirmed. Okay, and I guess that you're with me that this price action really it went nowhere. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we have time stop rules, because when something is supposed to happen, it should be happening quickly. If it's supposed to happen but it's not happening, it's probably a bad sign, isn't it? So we may be seeing here a climate that is about to change, and we'll see that in 15 minutes from now. In the meantime, I'm just gonna close this workspace because it's not useful any longer. Okay, so I'm just gonna close it. And we got the alert on the euro, as I was expecting, but it's hopeful, so we're gonna ignore it as well. And with the other markets, again, hopeful, and then sensible, but then we got the gray box, which is not confirmed as a climate, and therefore we also ignore. So it's pure waiting time at this moment in time, is 100% waiting time if this is your watch list. Okay, of course your watch list could be longer. Okay, your watch list could be longer. You could have a few more markets. Okay, you could have heating oil, you could have the Dow Jones, you could have the Russell futures. So you could have a few more markets. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe we can add them. So let's take a look at the YM, which is the Dow Jones. Let's take a look at the Russell RTY, Russell future. Let's see if it's providing anything. So these are loading. No alert at the moment, none of them. What else can we have here? We have the crude oil, we have natural gas here. Yeah, I mean, those are some of the most liquid futures markets in the world. So, yeah. What else is happening here? The yen is flashing one more time. We have an alert with the Swiss franc, but it's hopeful. Okay, so we're not going to take this one. Okay, so I would like to look at a few more markets to see if I find an opportunity. So I'm just going to load just one slide for you guys to see a collection of futures markets that could be interesting or important. Okay, so I'm just loading a PowerPoint document here with our futures class. Okay, so I just want to show you one slide from here. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So this is one slide that is interesting for you to see, okay, especially if you don't trade futures, okay? So here you have some of the key currencies, okay? The US dollar, the euro, the yen, the British pound, the Aussie. The most liquid ones are the euro and the yen. I have that already. Here we got natural gas, crude oil, and heating oil. Heating oil is not really liquid, okay? But again, could be okay to add heating oil here, okay? So the less liquid futures markets may provide an opportunity, okay? So again, if you don't have an opportunity, you have two choices: either wait or look at more markets. So that's what I'm doing, okay? What else do we have, okay? Treasuries, okay? So treasuries, I don't have any actually in my list, and the treasuries are not bad, to be honest. So we have the 10-year, the 30-year. So let's go ahead and add here under 60 minutes because liquidity is good, but it's not the best. So I'm gonna do a 10-year and also the US, okay? So let's see if the 10-year, look at that, the 10-year is providing an opportunity, okay? So maybe, oh, wait a minute, that is not correct. I'm looking at the wrong time frames here. Let me make sure I am looking at the right time frames. This should be 15 minutes. That's an easy mistake to make, guys, okay? That's why I got the interval column here on the left, okay? So that way I don't make that mistake, even though I did make it. Okay, so time frame. So time frame 60 minutes for this one. Okay, 60 minutes for the 10-year and the US. So no alert. Okay. The Dow Jones is giving us an alert. Look at that. Dow Jones right here is giving us an alert. Okay. So we're gonna have to build a workspace for the Dow Jones because I don't have it built. Okay. So let me show you how you do that. Okay. Maybe this is a good little practice, little improvised practice. So I'm gonna use my S&P workspace as a template. Okay. The opportunity is available on the Dow Jones. Okay. So I want to execute on the Dow Jones, but I will use the S&P as a template. And there is something else I need to bring to the screen to make sure we do this right, which is the set of edge timeframes for futures. Okay, and more specifically for the Dow Jones. Okay, so you can see it here, YM, so 377, 233, 89, and 55. Okay, so we're gonna change the symbol. Well, first we're gonna change the name of the workspace. So save workspace as. We're gonna call it YM 15. Okay, and now that I got the YM, we're gonna go ahead and type YM M20, which is the symbol. Okay, not the ES, but the YM. So I'm switching to the different symbol. And as I get the different symbol, I need to customize my volume and share, volume and tick timeframes to the specific liquidity of this market based on this table. So instead of 2584, I'm gonna use 377. Okay, so here, okay, instead of 2584, I'm gonna use 377. Okay, with 89 candles to minimize the use of the CPU. Here, instead of 1597, I'm going to use 233. Okay, so 233 for the tick time frame, 233, and instead of 500 bars, 89. Okay, here we go. And then for the reactive time frames, so instead of 610 and 377, we're going to use 89. Okay, so 89. So 89. Wait a minute. I think I had 50, isn't it? Yeah, 55. So 89 and 55. Okay. And then for the tick time frame, 377 becomes 55. So it's going to be 55, 55. Okay. It's going to be 55 and 55. And now I just customize this for the Dow Jones. So I'm just saving the workspace. So now I have it saved under the name YM15. Okay, so little exercise there. This is more than trading is about the use of TradeStation, but somehow you cannot trade unless you use TradeStation. So I guess that made sense for me to do. Okay, so what do we have? Well, actually, price is now below the EMA. So right now there's nothing to be done. So we will need to wait on this one. Let me take a look at your questions. Fairmont, I know Trade with UFOs app for TradeStation show trade probability number, but I have the app for TradingView. Is there somewhere else or some other indicator I can use to find the probability numbers? Not with TradingView. TradeStation is obviously a superior platform compared to TradingView, and therefore there is a bit more functionality on the app on TradeStation compared to TradingView. Okay. Leland, you made $75 on the last trade. Good one. Ahmed, today is the day after the long weekend holiday. I think no volume. Well, we got a couple of trades earlier, so I guess it's just a matter of timing. We cannot control that. We just need to be adaptable, Ahmed. Eddie, does this kind of work with TradeStation 9? Yes, it does. Froilan, do you offer a class on how to use the UFOs and the techniques that you use here to get together? Yes, Froilan, absolutely. You can get on our website. And I'll show you quickly since the market is a bit slow today, so I will do it speed of the light. So you come into our website, right? On the top, you have a button here, which is join. So you click on join, okay? And here you have the self-paced course or the live online course. Both of those courses will teach you the methods we use in the YouTube channel. Okay, so that's the place. Anyway, see Alan on the RTI and the YM. It's a 5 minute climate. A good one, Alan. Yes, I saw that afterwards. Good catch. Good catch. I made a mistake. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to here to see what we have. So futures markets are really producing nothing today. Well, not today, right now. Maybe 1 hour from now is going to be all golden alerts, and you're going to have to rush. But as of now, it's not working. Even now, we have an alert which is gold, but it's hopeful. Okay, so hopeful we pass. We're not in the business of being hopeful. On the forex side is exactly still the same. All the alerts are the same. So hey, I'm just gonna add a few more markets. Okay, so we were looking at the treasuries. We got corn. Corn and wheat has a similar level of liquidity as well as the soybeans. So we could add corn, for example, okay, which we don't have it. So this one here, I also need to customize. I'll do it for those two. It's 5 minutes, so I need to change to 240. So time frames, customize, selected symbols, and we're gonna do 240. Here we go. So now it's gonna be loading. Corn, it's 0.60, close to a sensible long. Okay, so we may come back to corn if it flashes. What else do we have? Well, all the key markets, we have them. Live cattle, we have it, so we'll skip lean hogs. We got gold. We could add silver and copper. We could. Silver is less liquid. Okay, so I will want to add silver in here. So it's gonna be a 60 minute. Okay, 60 minutes for the silver. Okay, and wait a minute, silver just move up. 60 minutes for the silver. Here we go. Okay, and then copper, HG, it's less liquid. So we're gonna have to move it down here. Time frame, customize, HG, and we're gonna make it 240. Okay, and let's see if there is a flashing light or not. Actually, yes, both copper and corn are flashing. Copper is flashing right now. So you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at copper. Okay, and we're gonna do the same exercise. Okay, I'm just gonna close this workspace. We're gonna do the same exercise. So we'll do it, and hopefully we'll be able to identify a trade. So I'll use crude oil as a reference template type of workspace. So I'm gonna save it as HG, which is copper. Okay, it's not gonna be 15, it's gonna be 240. Okay, 240. And I need a symbol. So to get the symbol, I'm gonna get into barchart.com to make sure I get the symbol right. So with the metals, we are looking at the copper. With the copper, it's suggesting the N is the right letter. So I want to make sure the greatest figures, which are here, are pointing at the N on the left, and they are. So HGN20, that's the symbol I need to use. HGN20, that is the symbol I need to use. Okay. And again, now I need to go back to here. And now, of course, I'm not going to be looking at the 15-minute time frame. Okay. I'm not going to be looking at the 15-minute time frame here on the left. I'm going to be looking at the common time frame on the right, which is 240, and looking down where copper is, which copper is right here. Okay. So what we need is 987 and 610 and 233 and 144. That's what we need. So going back to copper, okay, I said 987, 987, okay, and then we're gonna have okay 987, and then we're gonna have 610. Okay, so 610 with 89 bars. Okay, here we go. And then we're gonna have the reactive time frames 233 144. So 233 144. And I will have my setup all organized, and we'll be able now to look at those potential trades. Okay, so saving here. So what do we have? Okay, so let's look at this market. So when looking at the climate for copper, okay, by the way, important one, this is a 60-minute climate. So I need to switch this to, sorry, copper was 240, okay, which means that this is gonna be 240 and this is gonna be 8 minutes, okay. I was making a little mistake there. So 8 minutes for the edge time from on the left. Sorry, 21 minutes. Let me rephrase that. Okay, so we have PD pending data. So I'm just gonna wait for the data to be loaded. But again, notice how for the 4-hour setup, we have 240 and 21. Okay, so I'm not gonna use 15 and 2, which is what was there. I need to change it for the 240 and the 21. Okay, so I need to make sure I do that. Okay, so 21 here. Okay, 21 here, 240 below. Okay, and now, so let's go ahead and look at climate. So what do we have? Well, it's not too good. Okay, it's not too good because even though the climate is confirmed, okay, it's candle number 7 into a climate where probabilities suggest is going to be 6. Okay, it's going to be 6. So you know, you could certainly take the trade, but the rule is because we are surpassing what statistics suggest. So then the rule would be to use half of the size. And you know, normally to keep it even simpler, I just go ahead and say, let's look for another trade. Okay. Now today, the problem with other trades is that there are not too many. Okay. So we don't have much to choose from. Well, corn is actually flashing. Okay. So let's go ahead and enter a trade with corn. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the same copper template to create a corn template. So it's gonna be corn 240. Wait a minute, that one I have it already. That one I do have it already. Here is the corn. So let me open the corn template. Of course, I need to use the right symbol. So I'm back to barcharts.com to make sure the symbol I utilize is the correct symbol. Okay, so looking for grains, looking for corn. Okay, looking at your questions as well. Perfect. Maria, what is the MT4 you use for executing Forex trades? I find different options when looking online. Maria, where are you located? Are you in the US or outside of the US? And then I'll give you a choice. Fermon, do you have video that teach intraday options trading, short-term timeframes? Yes, on the sharpening playlist on our YouTube channel. If I'm not mistaken, you have 4 2-hour videos that talk about that. Okay. Okay, so corn is supposed to be N. Okay, and again, I want to look at the greatest liquidity, which indeed corresponds with the N. Okay, so I'm good. So we're gonna change this to CN20. Okay, add CN20, and corn should load, and we'll be able to execute those trades. Okay, now certain markets, okay, could be treasuries, could be some of the grains, the trading quarters or eights, and this for some traders is very confusing. Okay, and the fact is that it's quite confusing if you think about it. But you know, it's what it is, and we need to adapt to it. Okay, so anyway, so climate, what do we have? Climate is confirmed with a thick dot. It's candle number 3 out of 5. So certainly, if you were to get into this trade, you can still be in for another 8-hour trade. Okay, so that's good. So 318.92, okay, 318.92. So let's call it around 319. Around 319, we are looking for green UFOs, okay? And here we don't have any. And here around 319, we don't have any. And here around 319, we don't have any. It's below, okay? Well, actually, it's good because that one is what? 318.68, which is almost 319, which is almost 319. So I guess that's good enough. So this UFO, it's a valid candidate for the trade, going from 318 to 319. Okay. Now, I want to do two things before we conclude the session today. Actually, three things because Maria just answered the question. You're in the US, okay? So Maria, I'm going to give you two choices. It's one choice, but really it's two. And then I'm going to come back to corn, and we're going to do two things with corn, and then we'll call it a day. Okay? So, two things. First, answering Maria's question. So, there is a broker called ATC Brokers. Okay? In the US, there are not too many choices for Forex brokers. And most of them, because there are not too many choices, they kind of kept merging with each other, and brokers are humongous and they offer very wide spreads. And as a Forex trader in the US, you have a little bit of a difficult time. So there is one broker called ATC Brokers, okay, which is pretty cool because basically they give you access to OANDA and Forex.com, but they give it to you with more professional spreads. They give it to you with the type of spreads that you would get if you had a professional account with OANDA or Forex.com, but for that you need 50K in your account. So with ATC Brokers, you can do the same without 50K. Okay. So if you use the link tradewithufos.com/ATC89, okay, tradewithufos.com/ATC89, or tradewithufos.com/ATC233. Okay, so that's why I'm giving you two choices. So ATC Brokers, okay, with the link, I'm just gonna type it again. Okay, this is a US broker. Your account will be in the US, okay? So tradewithufos.com/ATC89 or /ATC233. So what you're doing by doing that is that you open an account with that broker, but you benefit of one of the agreements we got with them, apart from the fact that they will give you professional spreads, which are reduced compared to what you get with OANDA or Forex.com. But apart from that, you benefit from the agreement we have with them, which is you get a cash back in your account of $89 or $233 after you trade. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, is 10 lots, but that I don't remember by heart. So once you open the account with them, you would want to consult with them. You do the, when you do the online application, you have an email, so you can consult with them exactly for how much they need. But the moment you have fulfilled X amount of trades, they give you a cashback of 89. Or if you want the cashback to be 233, you just need to do a few more trades. So maybe here is like 10 lots, and maybe here is like 20 lots of trades executed, and you get that money back. That money is withdrawable. It's real money. It's not just margin. It's real money. Okay. And the reason why it's 89 and 233 is because, going back to earlier here, 89 and 233 is the fee for our classes. So basically, if you attend one of our classes and then you have an account with this broker and you trade some volume with them as a practice, next thing you know, basically they pay you back what you spend to attend the class. So if you don't need to attend the class, you just get that money. That's it. You don't need to attend the class to get the same benefit. But that would be the link that you need to use. Okay. I totally diverted from trading, but Maria, you got your answer, and hopefully that works. For outside of the US, you're asking another question here. So the broker that we have an agreement with is called Axi Broker. Is a broker in Australia. So you would use the link tradewithufos.com/Axi. And again, you get a similar benefit And again, get in touch with them. After you do the application, you will get an email. So then you can get in touch with them and find out all the details. But use that link, because if you don't use that link, then you will not get the cashback benefit. Okay, cool. Okay, so you have it for in the US and outside of the US. Let's go back to corn. So two things to be discussed about corn. Um, Number one, setting the target. Okay, I need to do that. And number two, for these markets which trade in quarters and eighths, which is, it's kind of like, oh my God, I'm confused. How do I do it? So I want to show you how to take care of it, so you are fine. Okay. So let me go ahead and enable AutoUFOs so we find out what the target should be. So the target here should be 321.48. So 321.48 should be the target for corn. Okay. So now that we know the target, okay, I'll come back to planning the trade in a minute. But the question here is that, okay, but how much is it if I buy at 318.68 and I put my stop, at 316. Sorry, if I buy at 318.68 and I place my stop, at 316.48. So, how much am I making? How much am I losing? What's going to happen here? Okay. So you got 318, 317. The UFO here is rounding because of the complexity of the fractions. Okay. So it's rounding, but basically, how much are you going to be losing or making in this trade? So the best way to approach it, really, this applies to all markets, but certainly when you deal with markets like that, making a mistake is so easy. So guys, more than ever, okay, use the order panel in a TradingView. Okay. Now for that, you need to connect your account to TradeStation. Okay. So connect your account to TradeStation. Okay. So I'm just gonna log in because you need the data feed from TradeStation. Okay. So I'm just logging in. Okay, so I'm in, here we go. So I'm connected. And the reason why it's important to log in is because now if I type C for corn, okay, and I go back into futures, okay, and I have corn futures, okay. Now notice I could tick here to get, oh, sorry for that. I could tick to get TradeStation data, okay. And therefore now I got here my corn futures. Okay, so I can get my contract, the N 2020. Okay, so now I get corn real-time data here for corn, and now I could place my my order here. Okay, so what if I was to buy, at the top, which is 318.68. Okay, so 318. Okay, 68, and here, again, a calculator could help as well. Okay, probably this is the least confusing way on how to do it. So if you do 6 divided by 8, okay, that's 0.75. Again, for the ones of you that are into math, no need to use a calculator to do that. Actually, you also know that 6 divided by 8 is 3 divided by 4, and that's 0.75. Again, there are different ways on how to do it, but again, all of those things sometimes add mistakes. So if you were to do it like that, okay, this is one way on how to enter it, okay? But notice what the problem is. It's not allowing me to enter it, okay? So the only way basically to adjust it, okay, is to move into the scale, okay? So in a mathematical world 6 out of 8 is 0.75, but you cannot type it as 0.75, okay? So what should you do? Just click on the drop-down menu and you just pick the 6. 318, 6 is actually meaning 6 eighths, okay, because it's the fraction, okay? And then if you were to place the stop, okay, based on the chart, the bottom part of this UFO is located at 316.48. So your stop should be, instead of 48, it should be 28, right? One tick below. So 316, sorry, here, 316, So again, same story. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this, and it's gonna be, you see, either 2 or 4 or 6, right? So we said it's gonna be 316 to 8. Okay. And what do you now know? You now know that if you were to use one contract to take this trade, that's gonna cost you $125. Okay, that's the risk of the trade. So if you go with two contracts, basically this trade is risking uh, I'm not sure why he's not taking it. Oh, yeah, because it moved here. 316.2. Here we go. So you can see now here that the risk of the trade is $250, which is 125 times 2, because instead of 1 unit, I have used 2. So if you ever trade the market, the trading fraction, or even in general, every futures market's got a different point value, isn't it? So one way to make sure you make no mistakes is to use the order panel, because now you know exactly how much you're going to make on this trade. And by the way, we said the target will be located at 321.4. Okay. So in other words, in this trade, you are looking to make 275, and in order to make 275, you are risking 250. So my friends, I would say this trade is not worth it. That's the end of the story. We're gonna pass on it, but at least it's been a good exercise to go over this, so you know how to deal with futures markets that trade in fractions, which are not so common, which is kind of inherited from when the markets used to trade, on the floor. I mean, still trade on the floor, but I mean like human beings on the floor instead of electronically. And it's kind of inherited, and it's certainly very confusing. At least it is for me, even though I've used this for years. Every time I deal with a fraction, it's always kind of turning me off a little bit. So the way to avoid problems and not to be turned off is to use a tool such as the order panel. Okay, very good. Good. So you guys have no more questions. So I think that we're gonna call it the day. I'm just gonna give you a few more seconds just in case you have a question. But if not, we'll be done. So how was it today, guys? Even if you don't have a question, it would be nice that you just let me know how it was, even though I kind of know what's the answer. It was a bit inactive today. Oh, look at that. Now we got alerts. Here we go. Murphy's Law. So now you can go ahead and plan a trade on the Dow Jones futures. Okay, you'll have to do it yourself, but now we do. Even on the forex side, now we have the pound Canadian dollar is giving us a near sensible alert. Very good. Very good, everybody. Thank you for your comments, my friends. You guys take care. I will see you hopefully in a few hours in the do's and don'ts. As I said before, one last look just in case you missed it. I'm excited about that session in case you haven't noticed. So hopefully I will see you there. Okay, the do's and the don'ts. And if I don't see you there, then I will see you on Thursday in the YouTube channel. You guys take care. Bye-bye. See you then.